So before this video gets started, if you are an Uber driver, if you already signed up for Uber and you forgot to use a referral code, you didn't know anybody, or you didn't watch our videos, and if you already signed up for Uber, maybe you just signed up, or maybe you signed up a while ago and you never did use a referral code, you can still get your bonus. You can still get your referral bonus. I know a lot of people don't know that, or when I tell them, they're like, wow, Dan, I had no idea. And right now, guys, because of everything that's going on, it is better time than ever to sign up or to apply the referral code. It literally is 8 steps. The instructions are down below. It's super easy. We don't need any of your info. You just apply our info. Again, it's super easy. This is the Rideshare Hub. Take advantage of this. It could be $1,000, could be $1,500. It might only be $100, but still, I could use that money right now, and I'm sure you can too. So go ahead. It's the sign up bonus for Uber. It's the instructions are down below. It's super easy, super simple. Okay, I just wanted to tell you guys. Now let's get on to the video. Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to the Rideshare Hub. My name's Dylan, and thank you so much for coming by. I really do appreciate it. So the Rideshare Hub is going through a bit of an interesting period right now. I mean, what do Uber and Lyft drivers doing in the midst of all of this going on? That's what we're dedicating this to. You have myself, you have Greg Wave and Jacob Letman, as well as Keenan and Crystal. So now 5 of us are making videos, giving you all the most up-to-date information. We're gonna be basically taking turns on the channel now. Just so you guys know, we are all active Uber and Lyft drivers, and I think most of us have taken a break during this time from driving. But also Jacob Letman is out there doing food delivery, and I don't know about Greg, and I think Keenan might do food delivery as well. But regardless, what about Uber and Lyft? Is Uber and Lyft ending? Uber is definitely, well, I know Uber Eats is not ending because they just announced that they're doing free delivery and a lot of people are ordering food. But what about Uber driving? Uber driving and Lyft driving. That's what we're gonna talk about today. I have a lot to talk about. Again, before I get started, if you already have signed up for Uber and you haven't used a referral code, I know a lot of people are like, Dylan, I can't believe you're doing this. You're saying that Uber and Lyft is ending, but why are you plugging a referral code? Guys, this is for drivers who have already signed up and forgot to use a code. It's a sign up bonus for drivers. I know, I feel like some people just don't understand that. Like when you sign up for a credit card, they say, okay, use this credit card and spend $3,000 in the first 3 months and we'll give you $500 cash. That's a sign-on bonus. What Uber does is they say, hey, you know, sign up here, give 100 rides and we'll give you $1,500 guaranteed. And I'm like, a lot of drivers don't know that, or when they sign up, they realize, maybe they heard people talking about, they're like, oh my gosh, I didn't know. So yes, this is just for drivers, like for Uber drivers who have already signed up and forgot to use a code. There's a really easy way to apply a code afterwards that a lot of drivers don't know about. And usually when they hear about it, they're like, Dylan, I had no idea. Does this actually work? Yes, use the instructions down below. Okay, sorry, just had to get that out of the way because, you know, I know even people like to cause drama even in the midst of a crisis, but some people, I don't know, whatever. But let's talk about this. How are Uber and Lyft drivers handling this? Is it ending? And why I think it is ending and why I think it might survive. I just did a poll. I'll put up the results really quick I asked drivers if they thought Uber and Lyft was ending, and here are the results. For the most part, a lot of drivers said that they think Uber and Lyft is gonna survive. Why I think they survive, first of all. Why I think they might survive, first of all. First of all, Uber, what's it called? Uber has a lot of money, first of all. They make a lot of money even though they report losses. The reason they report losses is to basically, I think it's a lot of reasons for tax purposes too, but they're investing a lot of their own money into their employees, into research for self-driving cars and stuff. Why I don't think Uber is ending, or why it might survive, would be just because of Uber Eats. If they didn't, they're really, really smart, and really smarter than Lyft for doing this is doing Uber Eats, because at a time like this, and I might think they even did this just in case something like this would happen, is think about all the people who are staying home and not taking Uber rides or Lyft rides, but they're ordering food. So Uber already has several 100,000 partnerships with restaurants, and a lot of those restaurants are still open doing deliveries. So first of all, you still have drivers going out and doing Uber Eats, and you still have passengers, or I guess customers, ordering food from Uber Eats. So with that being said, you still have a lot of activity on the Uber app. And while driving might be down for the next year, and which I'll get into in a second, at least they still have Uber Eats. And yes, I do think Uber's driving is not gonna be worth it for the next year. So but I'll get into that in a minute. Why might Lyft survive? That's a bit more of a challenge. Lyft is a much smaller business than Uber. I think Uber is maybe 10 times the size of Lyft. First of all, Uber's around the whole world, in many countries. Lyft is mostly in US and Canada, I believe. They might have expanded recently, but regardless, they're a lot smaller. They also, like, if you think about Uber does Uber Eats, well, normal Uber Eats. They also do Uber Freight, which is shipping companies, and again, they're still operating under Uber Freight right now, I believe. And then Uber also has the self-driving cars, and then Uber also has, what else do they have? They also have the Uber, like, helicopter, Uber scuba diving, Uber, well, it's not going on right quite yet, but basically Uber just has way much more going on. Mostly food delivery. Like, Lyft has no food delivery, right? So they're trying to hop on the trend right now, and I think it might be a little too late. I can put on the screenshot, but basically I'll try to put it up if I remember, but I don't like editing, but I'll try to put it up. I got an email saying that Lyft is now doing deliveries, because they're trying to, I guess, you know, overcompensate for what's going on. But the reason why I think Lyft might survive is simply because of the fact that people at the end of the day will still need to do some rides, and guys, I think the government might, this is just a, you know, take this with a grain of salt, my opinion. I'm obviously not a whatever industry professional in this, in any case, but I think the government, like, this is transportation. People rely on Uber and Lyft to get around. Like, without Uber and Lyft, people can't get to the doctor, or get food, or get people necessity, go to work. Like, people have become so reliant on Uber and Lyft from door-to-door transportation. It's one thing leaving the bus and the metro open, but still, people might need to walk a mile to get to a bus stop, or walk 10 minutes. And a lot of people physically can't. So when you take away Uber and Lyft, I mean, a lot of people haven't bought cars because they rely on Uber and Lyft. So if you get rid of Uber and Lyft, you all of a sudden raise a huge problem, because now you don't have a main form of transportation. And yes, at this point in our society, Uber and Lyft is a main form of transportation. So that's why I think Lyft might survive, just out of pure necessity. But I think they might lay off a lot of employees, which is sad. And then again, Lyft has some huge investments from you know, investors, and they're also a publicly traded company. So I don't really know how that works, but I think they can use some of that stock, some of that money. I'm not really sure. I'm not a professional, but I think that's why they might survive. Now, why might they not survive? Let's start with Uber. Well, people aren't going out and taking rides right now. People aren't going Uber scuba diving, Uber helicoptering, Uber, mostly they're not doing rides. That's where Uber makes most of their money, is from rides, right? And there's just, the activity is so low. It might be 1% of what it normally is. Think about it. Universities are closed, restaurants are closed, bars are closed, nightclubs are closed. Most workplaces are home, or work from home, and most public gatherings across the United States are being discouraged. So people are encouraged to stay at home. Even on Instagram, there's a stay-at-home filter that like people are using. It's like no one's going out and taking Ubers to go party with their friends. Like, you might get a couple of those, and then and also drivers don't want to go out and drive for health reasons. That's why I don't want to go out and drive. If I knew that I could go out and drive and stay 100% completely safe, I would. I totally would, but that's not the reality, so I'm not going out and doing any rides right now. I gotta finish this up because I gotta get some exercise in before the end of the day, because the sun is gonna start setting in about an hour. But again, I just wanted to make this quick update with you guys on the reality of what Uber and Lyft's gonna be. Oh, and then also before I end, this is a harsh reality for a lot of Uber and Lyft drivers, but it sucks. Obviously, Trump is trying to give Americans money, but for the next year or so, guys, it's gonna be a huge problem because you're gonna have a lot of big influx of new Uber and Lyft drivers. I've talked about this before, but I'll say it again, it's even worse. It's a big update because now what you see is a lot of restaurant workers, you know, they're about a week out of jobs. Restaurants been closed for about a week. A lot of bartenders, a lot of actors, models, a lot of movie producers, small movie producers, small movie directors, like independent films who get, you know, side cash here and there. People who work at, you know, nail salons, retail stores, cafes, gyms. A lot of these people are now, it's starting to be one week out of work. But imagine what it's gonna be 3 weeks out of work, 5 weeks out of work, 6, 7 weeks out of work. This is predicted to go on. It's predicted that we're gonna hit the peak in 45 days from now. So that's about 7 weeks of all this still being all shut down. So what are they gonna do? They're gonna sign up for Uber and Lyft. And I know Lyft has already closed applications, and I think Uber stopped their marketing for new drivers, but regardless, they're gonna open it up eventually, right? I mean, they're gonna need new drivers, and when they do, they're gonna get a huge influx of new drivers. And what are they, I mean, I guess they could stop people from signing up to be drivers, but regardless, they're always gonna be maxed out with like, it's created this huge issue because now Uber and Lyft are always gonna be at peak drivers for the next year or two. And again, schools are gonna still be shut down for the next, you know, 6 months, universities at least. So passenger activity is gonna, and they say social distancing is probably gonna last for the next year or so. So people aren't really even gonna be gathering in public for the next year or so. So, and most places will now be work from home because, you know, a lot of companies are discovering that, well, you know, we could actually save a lot of money by not renting out works, you know, by not leasing out work offices. So maybe we should just work from home in the future. I've heard talks that movie theaters might shut down forever. Movie theaters might not be a thing anymore because of Netflix and everything that's going on, and, you know, can they survive going a year without any movies playing? I've also heard, like, there's just a lot going on. And so with that being said, rider activity is going to be down for the next year at least, and you're going to have a huge influx of drivers. So it's really not going to make sense to count on Uber and Lyft for income as much, just because your earnings are going to typically be maybe 50% of what they typically would be on a full-time week, or even on a part-time week, starting I guess last week up until, well, I mean, after the peak, it's gonna, you know, people eventually start getting back into normal everyday life, but it's gonna take a while for life to be the same, you know. It's gonna take maybe 2 years. So within the next 2 years, if you've been counting on doing Uber and Lyft to, you know, for income, I would highly strongly suggest against it. That's just coming from me, my personal, I mean, you obviously do whatever you want to do, but I'm just trying to be reasonable here, and somebody who has a lot of experience driving and talking to passengers and drivers too. I've obviously been on this channel for almost 1.5 years now, so yeah, guys, that's about it. I just want to say thanks for watching, and yeah, I'll stick with you guys to the end. If Uber and Lyft do end, I'm still gonna have this channel. I'm not gonna delete the channel. We'll probably transition it into mostly gig apps, other gig apps, which we still do have other gig apps on here, but obviously the primarily focus has been Uber and Lyft, but we'll do other apps as well. And actually Jacob Letman is gonna start making more videos on other gig apps because he's gonna start doing food delivery too. And he's gonna basically share his journey and experience navigating life. I mean, he's an actor and people aren't making movies right now. All productions are shut down. So he decided that he's gonna start doing more food delivery, and he's gonna document his experience on here, which I think would be a great narrative for all of you guys too. So let me know if you're interested in that, and myself too. I will keep you all updated, so make sure you are subscribed so you do get those updates, and I'll talk to you all soon. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.